Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Leo December 2019 horoscope forecast part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, well, first thing up is as far as December goes, Venus will be in Aquarius from the 20th until the 31st. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this can manifest in a number of ways. If you're unattached at this time, Leo, you may connect with an Aquarius sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Aquarius characteristics. It may be for a significant other connection. It could be something that leads to marriage. This could be a time, too, where you may also, it could be a time where you really value something that's very unique, unconventionality, and also freedom and independence in your relationships and important friendships at this time. It could also be about unpredictable spending, in some cases on legal matters, or maybe even a grandmother, or dealing, it could be on a significant other in some cases. But at the same time, this could also be about perhaps the love of some kind of unique form of competition. It could be uh, doing something. That could be, it could be some kind of, I'm not saying that you're going to be going around with a unicycle and a board on your head and challenging others to that kind of competition, but it could be something that could be very, something esoteric, or something that where it seems like it's a little bit unusual, or even the enjoyment of unusual activities with others in general. It could be, like using doing something, a rocket jetpack, or bungee cord jumping, or it could be something that could be somewhat of an odd or unusual activity at this time. And again, this could be about the love of freedom, of independence, and your connections at this time, Leo. So anyway, and it could be a time where you might connect with somebody that might be somewhat unusual or unorthodox at this time. Next thing up. Well, Mars will be in Scorpio, so the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, the situation with family members, people you're close to home, with the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, can be a little bit more perhaps acrimonious and contentious than usual. There might be arguments connected with jealousy and a lot of vindictive and vengeful energy. That might be expressed, and really an anger associated with that, trying to get back at some people that are 4th house related at this time. Now, another way this may manifest, this could be about injecting a lot of energy and vitality into getting to the bottom of some family mystery or conundrum, or something where, or going beyond subterfuge and superficiality with home family members, people you're close to home with. It could be a time too where, if you're unattached at this time, Leo, you may connect with a Scorpio sun, moon, or ascendant person, or it could be, or simply one that embodies Scorpio traits, and it could be for a sexual liaison and someone you just feel simply close to home with. And maybe there might be somebody that's going to be there for you at that end or latter part of your life. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Jupiter will be in Sagittarius still, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, Jupiter will be in Capricorn for the majority of the month, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, as I've expressed in previous videos, Jupiter can be rather paradoxical. It could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. Now, in some cases, it can enlarge and expand some restrictions and limitations that are health related. It could be despondency and maybe even sadness in your daily routine, or even pessimism and negativity in matters connected with an aunt or an uncle. It may even be in your health situation, or your work, or your employment life at this time. It could expand Capricorn health-related issues such as something with the knees, the bones, the joints, the hamstrings, but at the same time it could also be very auspicious and beneficial for Capricorn related employment, such as something associated with the government, information technology, even accounting, dentistry, business, politics, something with the government, anything that could be Capricorn related. And it could also be a time where you might incorporate a little bit more jocularity and joviality into the daily routine, but it could be a time too, I mean, given that it's Capricorn energy, it could be very wry, serious humor where you're not really smiling a whole lot when you're actually joking at this time. And so too, in some cases, this could actually be very good in terms of your health at this time, and for maybe following something that could be a very regimented type of diet or fitness program at this time. Next thing up, well, Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, you may be experiencing certain restrictions and limitations in matters with your health, your employment, your work to some degree. It could be even you might be on some diet restriction at this time. Now, in other cases, this could manifest in taking care of a sickly or debilitated aunt or uncle, someone prominent in your daily routine, your employment life. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, the joints, the hamstrings, and maybe making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy at this time. But it could also be a period where you may be doing something Saturn/Capricorn related as far as employment goes. It could be doing something like with dentistry or even timekeeping, something with politics, business, even working laboriously in some general mundane type of employment at this time. And older people might be figuring more prominently in your daily routine at this time. It could also be about a lot of hard or a lot of laborious, consistent service you may render to others at this time, but there may be some difficulties in sixth house matters, such as matters pertaining to your pets and your work, your health, and your employment at this time. And you might even be experiencing some Saturn health related issues at this time, Saturn/Capricorn health related issues, such as something with the knees, the bones, and the joints, and even the hamstrings at this time as well. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus still, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, you might be dealing with certain unusual, stubborn, obstinate behavior from the dominant parent, which is often the father, authority figures, people prominent in your career. Your career situation may be going through some fluctuations and may be somewhat erratic and sporadic. At this time, you might find yourself doing something Uranus related as far as career related matters go, such as something with astronomy, astrology, aerospace, even rocket science, humanitarian work, computers, electronics, innovation. It could be a time where this could also be, in some cases, I could see this as some kind of very unanticipated or unpredictable fame or notoriety you might get at this time. As well. And it could also be that unpredictable things and situations may be happening in matters with as far as your reputation and public image at this time. Now also I actually see this as Taurus friendships in some cases. They could be Taurus Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Taurus characteristics might figure more prominently in your career. It could be your stature in life, your standing in the community, your public image, your reputation at this time, and notoriety, and whether they're actually beneficial or to your detriment. A lot of that could be predicated and dependent on aspects that are made to points in your chart. If it makes, say if this is making a sextile trine to your natal Jupiter, they might actually be very beneficial in those matters. But let's say if it makes an adverse aspect to your natal Saturn, it could really be where they might be causing some restriction and sorrow and loss in those cases, and despondency. So anyway, Well, the next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, well, this can manifest in a number of ways. I mean, one way it could be in some cases, isolated cases, there could be some kind of Neptune-related surgery, such as something with the toes or the feet. There might be something with the lymphatic system. And you might be more susceptible to like credit card fraud and deception and matters connected with credit card situations. So it's important to be really be very careful, be very guarded more in terms of divulging that kind of information out freely. And be as far as your credit card goes and things of that nature. Now, it might also be more susceptible to some kind of insurance fraud at this time, and also guard against possible tax evasion issues at this time. And really, this could also be a time too where 8th house people in general may be a little bit more deceptive and duplicitous than usual, such as someone you're in an intimate or sexual relationship with. It could be a person that you're, it might be in a shared resources situation. Now at this time too, you might feel that you maybe in some cases where this could be about the dissipation, the dissolving of your moral, emotional, monetary support at this time. But on the positive end, this could also manifest in some cases as some kind of spiritual or metaphysical transformation you may be going through at this time as well. And so too, I mean, in some cases you're looking at the 8th house. It could also be about a spiritual rebirth or revival. Remember, the 8th house is connected with regeneration and rebirth at this time as well. And now in isolated cases, this could also be about, I mean, the 8th house is associated with death, so just guard against something, you know, as far as chemical assimilation, or and you could be more susceptible to a death connected with drugs or alcohol. It could even be an accidental assimilation of some kind of drug at this time, so just be extra careful at this time, Leo. So anyway, last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, one way this may manifest, this could be about some kind of transformation in connection with your health or employment, or in some cases you may feel it could be like some kind of obliteration or destruction of your health, but at the same time, remember that Pluto is also about rebirth and regeneration, revival. So if something goes away for some time, it could also come back. There could be a resurgence of your health. You might feel that it's kind of going away at one point, but it can come back. And also too, Pluto again being about transformation. This could be about, again, a transformation in your employment, but it could also be time too where you might be doing something Pluto related as far as your employment goes, such as something with transformation, recycling, surgery, something with occult, astrology, the supernatural, something associated with the death profession, such as working as a coroner or mortician or a funeral director at this time. In some cases too, this could be about some kind of knee replacement situation as far as your health goes at this time. It could also be when you're talking about Pluto energy, it could be a point where, depending on where it's transiting in one's chart, where you're expecting some kind of infallibility, and it might be a time where you might be expecting some kind of infallibility in connection with an aunt or uncle, someone prominent in your daily routine, someone in your employment life, or even with pets in some cases as well. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Leo December 2019 horoscope forecast part 2 of 2. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Virgo December 2019 horoscope forecast part 1 of 2. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.